Hey guys, before we start the video, there was never supposed to be a part 3. The video you're seeing now was actually supposed to be part 2, but because I felt like a lot of these reaction channels are missing a marble, I decided to just make a whole nother video, which ended up being part 2. So what you are now seeing was supposed to be part 2, but now it's made into a 3-part series. Alrighties, with that being said, let's get right into the video.
This is how I remember this going down, okay? Because about a year ago, you made a video.
Yeah.
Maybe it wasn't even a year ago, but maybe it was more than that at this point. But you made a video about Alexandra Rodriguez, and in that video, you talked about the reaction channels because it's part of her story. Now, you didn't spend a lot of time on them, and you showed about a total of a minute of their clips, right?
Yeah.
Insert.
Oh yeah, let's show you the clips real quick. The reason why I'm diving into her is because recently there's been a lot of hiccups regarding weight discrimination and also what's going on Reddit. Reddit is canceling Alexandra Rodriguez.
Alexandra Rodriguez is a known, kind of internet personality. She's known for being fat as fuck. She's known for being fat as fuck and complaining. Let's be real.
Pregnancy, you're supposed to have a pregnancy glow, not looking like a fucking monster. Look at this. It's ridiculous the way her face looks. But let's get into this.
Shaking, like the house was shaking.
Oh my god, she's already fucking had lunch? She's already had lunch, and then after lunch she's having a snack. Now, don't fucking tell me this is pregnancy food. This is how she normally eats, and this is why she was the size she fucking is. Are you sure it wasn't just you walking that shook the fucking house?
For being fat as fuck. Being fat as fuck.
I just want y'all to understand Alex's stance. Why in the hell the surgery didn't work for this big greasy ass silverback? That neck is thick, baby. Baby, that neck is giving you ain't ever had any kind of surgery in your goddamn life.
Thinking she's much more attractive than she actually is. You are fat. Why are you trying to get pregnant when you're still 300 pounds?
She's very criticized for lying about her weight loss surgery. She's criticized. Now, if you noticed, I purposely used a comical Italian music. I purposely, I literally...
Why does that matter? Why do you keep describing it as comical Italian music? Why do you keep doing that?
What I mean
Hey,
is...
Bappadada, what's the matter with you? Is that the song? Is that what you used?
Yeah. So, basically, pretty much like that.
Wonderful.
Really not okay. My whole
That's all right. You can't offend
that
an
was my
Italian.
way in the editing to. Obviously, these are newbies, but that was my way.
That was your tongue in cheek.
Yeah, that was my way of saying I'm not even gonna really dive into y'all. The video was really meant for Alan Roberts,
right,
in the beginning, and then
which is funny because he's of the three
that is the least problematic
for me, especially just because at least he makes sense why he criticizes her. Like the other ones, they have their stories that they've brought in to give them virtue of why they're attacking her.
Yeah.
But they essentially just made video channels about her. Alan didn't. Alan's a fitness guy. He's a wellness coach, whatever you want to call him. BS artist, whatever you want to call these guys. Macho, alpha male, preening, posturing, douchebag, whatever you want to call him. But him making fun of her and taking shots at her makes sense because for him, she is the enemy. Because she is kind of, in his eyes, undoing the work that he tries to do every day because she's appeasing to the fatties and he's trying to make fatties firm.
Yeah.
And so I get that. That's a natural enemy. That's like a lion trying to take down a gazelle. That's a hippo trying to take down anything. That's just how National Geographic works. The other two, not so much.
So the two that you're referring to would be the top two. I would say would have to be Priscilla P.
Priscilla P. The Aussie.
Yes.
Crocodile Dundee, mate. Aussies hate when I do Australian accent. It's fucking awful.
Oh gosh. Priscilla P. And then we have Nella from I'm Just Reacting. And Nella. What happened is I talked about Alexandra Rodriguez just briefly because I saw that she had a Reddit page, and just briefly on the channel. I'll leave a description, or I'll leave a link in the description box below if you want to watch that video. But also, in that video, then the reaction channels started reacting to my video, and I have no problem with that. That is what it is. Once you start talking about anyone online, they have the right to respond.
Absolutely. And you had an idea of what you were getting into.
Yeah.
I tried to warn you exactly what you were getting into, because this screams my world. Small commentary, petty drama, small just YouTubers trying to be more than what they actually are.
Yes. And so basically it started out as something, okay, like I already know that they're going to be upset because I'm giving constructive criticism, but I'm not really putting Alex, I don't have a pitchfork.
Wasn't one of the comments literally, "We don't know what side you're going on here"?
Yes. So that would be
almost like you were being fair in how you were criticizing or something.
Actually, let's start with Nella for I'm Just Reacting. I was going to start with the other one, but let's start with Nella.
Yeah, I think that's more appropriate anyway.
Okay, yeah, let's start with her. So she has a channel, I'm Just Reacting, and she reacted to the video that I just showed you guys. And the issue with that is that she took issue with that because I didn't react to her full 2-hour video.
Oh yeah, that was her.
And that's when you're like, okay, even if you're like 40 or 50, whatever, how old you are, you're still kind of like new to.
Oh yeah, you can tell a noob when you see a noob, because that's weak, because just because you didn't react to every part of the video doesn't mean you didn't watch every part of the video.
Right.
It's a non sequitur. And people who aren't very good at this, and they're able to get small amounts of, and I say small moderately because YouTube is a very big place. So when you're able to get small pockets of success, you think you're the smartest person in the room, when the reality is you're not. You don't know how this works.
Yeah, I know. And then the second thing too was within I think 8 minutes of this video, she somehow talked about her essay when she was a child, and then said, because I caped for Alex, that means that I must have agreed to an essay that happened to her when she was 8 years old.
Hey guys, editing me. I wasn't going to add this in here. I wasn't going to add Nella's essay because she explains as she's reacting to this video that I did almost a year ago. She talks about her essay, and then when she was 8 years old, and then proceeds to say that because I support this one YouTube creator, that must mean that I supported her essay. Wasn't going to add it because, kind of back and forth of whether or not it's appropriate because she is telling her story. However, Dave and I, we are talking about this, and I'm going to add it just for some context so you can hear what she says. I'm chiming in here only because the energy is going to be off because I had no intentions on adding her story in, but so if you hear us, after you see the clip and then you hear us going back to chatters and laughs, it's just because we're carrying on the conversation and I had no intentions on adding it until now, regardless of what I think about her. The truth of the matter is that I don't agree with anyone being essayed. So anyways, all right.
And I'm not going to ask y'all to raise your hands if this has ever happened to you, but I can tell you, Blossom, aka an honest conversation. Let's have the honest conversation. I'm going to raise my fucking hand because of one of them. You want to know how old I was? Huh? 8 goddamn years old. And his family had the audacity to beg that, hey, please just don't file any charges against him because it's going to ruin his life. I was 8 at the time. He was 17. Is that okay? Huh? Is it okay? An honest conversation? Huh? Is that okay? Should my parents, which they did file charges, but is it okay? I want to know, Blossom. You fucking tell me right now, you bitch. Is it okay? Was it okay? Was it okay? The mental shit that I went through for years. Was it? All of the therapy, psychologists. Was it okay? Huh? Was it okay for me being a little girl in elementary school? Scared to death to be around people, not knowing if someone was going to hurt me. But then there's people like you who condone people like Alex, who also condones people like her father that hurts little girls like me. And some of the women in the comment section that you see telling their stories. You are unbelievable, and I hope they take your channel down for the bullshit that you are saying, because you are disgusting, just like Alex, just like her father. How dare you skim past it as if it's not a big goddamn deal? It doesn't just go away, Blossom. AKA an honest conversation. Here's the honest conversation. Huh? You want to hear an honest conversation? My virginity was taken away from me. I didn't have a say in it, right? Because it was cool, right? By you and Alex standards, because, y'all, she writing the judge, you condoning it, huh? To get drugged into the woods and violated at 8, that was a great situation, huh?
You can see there is documentation of her sending, I believe, not one, but 2 letters, correct me if I'm wrong, to the judge, pleading for her dad to be released from prison or from jail. And a lot of people are not happy with this because they're calling her a blank apologist. Now, is she a blank apologist? By definition, yes. Because, if this person is convicted of doing just that, and you're pleading, you're pulling Ashton Kutcher and Mila Kunis, then yeah, you are definitely a blank apologist. With that being said, this is also her father, so I'm sure if her father were to chop off 3 heads or 4 heads, I'm sure she'll still probably do the same. Some people, they love their loved ones. You can't choose who your family is. You can't choose. Everyone has a black sheep in their family. And I'm not saying, when I say everyone has a black sheep in their family, that they've all committed the same crimes as her father did. But the reality is that everybody has someone, or majority of us have people in our family that we didn't sign up for. They just came with us. And, I'm not going to hold someone accountable for something that they didn't do. But I understand the divide in people wanting to come for her because they're like, hey, how could you be such a blank apologist? But then I also understand that side of, okay, well, this is her dad, so she may not necessarily agree with what her dad did, which is disgusting. But, she's probably viewing it as, this is my dad, So it's sad that there is even 2 sides to look at it, but there always is, or maybe 3. But anyways, so that's one of the reasons why Reddit is coming for her. Another reason why Reddit...
You co-signed it. It's ridiculous. First and foremost, incredibly sorry that happened to you. Incredibly.
She even goes on to ask me, do you think that was fair for me, huh? What would you say to me?
It should be it should go without saying.
Yeah.
I can't say that there's no one on the internet, because I'm sure there are people on the internet who just root for essays just to do that. I'm sure. But I will say most people on the internet are sympathetic towards essays. They don't want people to be essays. Why would anybody want
and
to
you would have to be... you would have to be like insane.
Yeah.
Like, you know, I mean, only insane people would root for that.
Right.
Obviously, no one in their right minds is going to sit here and agree with an SA.
No.
So, anyways, I took her advice, right? I started because she goes, you need to watch all of our videos.
You said that to the wrong person.
I know,
Nella.
you need to. You need to watch all of our videos. You need to do this.
Girl.
So I sat there and I watched every single video up until today. I watched every single Alex video. I have a 5 terabyte external Lacey hard drive of every single video. And let me tell you right now. And then this lady had the audacity to advertise her vlog channel. So I went on her vlog channel. And, whoa, where do I begin? Let's start off with this. Let's start off with not the vlog channel.
Wait, this is the one who called you an Uncle Tom, right? I love this one. She's so fucking sorry.
A lot of people are not happy with it. They are coming for her with the sponsorships. I was just reading on Reddit. People are like, oh, let's team up and let's, contact this sponsor. Let's contact that sponsor. And I'm like, y'all, damn. I mean, welcome to 2024, right? We don't like.
First of all, you bitch. I said I wasn't going to do this to you. But you acting like a whole Uncle Tom right now. Yes, you are. You acting like a whole Uncle Tom. Y'all, hopefully, y'all get this live. Hopefully, y'all are in here because I'm pretty sure they're going to get my shit taken down. Like this video, they probably going to take it down or whatever. But I don't care. What makes Alex and her father any different from P. Diddy? He did the same thing to Usher, to Justin Bieber. Were they not innocent boys? Huh? What about Cassie? Huh? Should we just turn a blind eye to it and write the judge so that P. Diddy can get off? How about R. Kelly when he was with the little 13-year-old girl? Huh? Should we just write the judge all as a group? Huh? All the people of color get together, write the judge, get him out. You are fucking insane. What is good for the goose is good for the gander. And if R. Kelly can get locked up, and if they about to put P. Diddy's ass where he needs to go, if Jeffrey Epstein is where he was at before he was gone, then he absolutely needs to serve his time so that justice is served for those young girls out there.
She's so great. She's so great. This is the one that called. Not only did she call you an Uncle Tom, you didn't even catch it. It was the best part. I'm listening in the background, right? Because she's been listening to this stuff and watching this stuff, and this lady has been like talking about her a lot. She was like, at first, she really did do a lot of she was talking about every live stream. You were coming up, and I'm listening to one of these things, and I was like, wait a minute. Did she just call you Uncle Tom? And as a white guy, I got to make sure that I heard what I heard, because it's like to even bring that up to her, this could be walking into some murky waters here. But I was 100% right. And because as soon as she listened, she was like, holy crap.
Here's the thing. She was calling me so many things that I couldn't even catch up with all of the names and all of the accusations and everything. Right. And you caught it. And then I'm sitting here like, I know this is baiting. I know she wants me to react right now. So I'm not going to react right now. We're going to let this,
Thammer.
Yes. Yeah. Because one, for starters, okay, here's what I can't stand. So anytime an African-American person or person of color, black person, whatever you want to say, right? Anytime our people have an argument with each other, we always got to go for the appearance. We always got to go for the skin color. Yeah, the blackness. Always got to go for that. Because our people do it all the time. I'm sitting here like, are we really going to call me an Uncle Tom because I'm caping for Alex? Have you seen my channel? Right. Because I think a lot of people would differ. Right. You know what I mean? Like, it was ridiculous to me. And it was frustrating. Real quick, even though that whole thing is just below my standard for a response, it really is.
Yeah, because of why the reason was. That was, I mean, like, I could see you wanted to get this off your chest here. This one was driving me nuts because they put you in the same category, and because you reacted to a portion of something that Alexandra did. She wrote a letter for her father, and you were not staking the vampire for him, and instead you looked at it as a daughter writing on behalf of a father, which I think a lot of people can understand. I don't think that's out of left field to do. At the end of the day, it is a daughter writing on behalf of the father. That's between them. Her reasons are her own. And yeah, it probably wasn't the smartest thing, but she also probably never intended it to get out. And then you having to be hammered in with that same thing, you know, and like you're unsympathetic to her.
It was weird. And you know, this whole with the Uncle Tom thing, you know,
She never read the book.
I just got I know, she owns a school. Anyways, let me tell you, the whole Uncle Tom thing. Harriet Beecher Stowe, 1852, real quick.
Tell him.
Okay, I just want to let you know in the beginning, he was actually a man that was preyed upon. I mean, he literally died.
He died saving slaves?
Yes.
Protecting slaves.
Yes. And it wasn't until, and he was smart too.
Very.
He could read. And it wasn't until the theatrics started taking place where, you know, a lot of the Caucasian people started going on the road in these plays, and then they started really doing these plays and kind of making him seem dumb.
Appropriating the word, really, if we're being honest, the term, changing what Uncle Tom means into something derogatory. Yeah. And then
but what sucks is it didn't help with Malcolm X, and then what's his name, Marcus Garvey, ended up using that term.
It's a powerful term when black people use it against black people. It shouldn't be used. I think it's a tough spot to put each other in, and just as people.
We're talking about, stick to the point, lady.
Right.
We're talking about Alex here, and you're calling me an Uncle Tom.
Right. You kind of lose your point in that.
Yeah. It was very uncalled for, and I felt like she was baiting. I felt like she wanted a...
Well, let's hope she didn't mean it. Let's hope it was a bait. Let's hope it's just dumb YouTuber stuff.
Yeah, because that was very dumb.
Yeah, funny. On an entertainment scale, I died.
I did not even catch it. I was like, oh
me.
Gosh.
I laughed so hard. It was because she's nuts, and she goes nuts, and she just starts. I wasn't watching her, but I can imagine she flails a lot. She feels like a flailer. You know a flailer when you hear a flailer, and. I can imagine it. She just said it so powerfully too. So yeah, it's great.
This lady tells me to watch her stuff, right? I do. And mind you, I think maybe even in this reaction, I think she was even singing Nicki Minaj. I could be wrong. But either way, I watched a lot of her reactions where she is singing Nicki Minaj. She's saying this is her favorite person. I'm like, well, do you know Nicki Minaj's husband? He was convicted of
right?
SA. Do you know Nicki Minaj's brother? Also convicted of SA, and she also publicly, not like Alex, but publicly supported her brother. And here you are. So it's a dangerous precedent to sit here and be like, oh, just because, you know, you watch an Alex video or you buy anything from her, you must be, you know, supporting SA.
Right.
Because if that's the case, then the same thing would go for you. But guess what?
Standard.
I don't think like you, because that is
crazy,
a dangerous precedent.
It's impossible.
Yes.
It's impossible. Everybody messes up. Everybody screws up. Everybody screws up, not to the level of SA. But look, once Bill Cosby got caught, all bets were off. Once America's father got caught, anybody was possible.
He wasn't my father.
Well, the Cosby Show did friggin' Super Bowl numbers, okay? Everyone watched that show growing up. It's one of the most important shows on television, not only black culture. I'm just saying, that's an important show. If Bill Cosby, of all people, dude who force-fed people Jell-O pudding pops for 40 years, can people, or SA people, can SA people, anybody can. And that's the scary part. So you never know when that time bomb is going to drop on someone that you like and someone you've been supporting. So what do you do when that happens? It's a tough position. So you don't virtue signal for this reason. This is my biggest point that I like to make in these situations, because YouTubers make this mistake constantly when they fight. You're getting caught in a complete hypocrite trap, because it's impossible to a standard to maintain. But you set the standard. This person set the standard by making that applicable to you. It's now applicable to them. And let me tell you, you probably got a lot more bullets in the chamber as well.
You're not really doing this for a cause.
Well, no, yeah, that's pretty much everyone on YouTube. That's the best part. Most people don't mean anything on YouTube. They're doing it for the views. The reality is, if there was no views in this
Well,
for
speak
her,
for yourself.
most people, you think she'd be doing this if there was no views and money in this? Honestly, you think she's still
No,
doing it?
but I don't think a lot of people.
I think a majority of people in that go on, and look, I'm speaking from experience here. I was one of the people, along with many others, who was in the Onision coverage in 2016. We covered these communities, and we really got in depth in how these people work. The reality is, if there's no money in a subject, there's no reason to milk it. There's no reason to make every video about it. But when you have never had success on YouTube and you get that excitement of that draw, it's a rush. It's like crack. You know, it's like a drug. It hits in your veins and you'll do anything to chase it. If you don't know how to fight right, if you don't know how to stick to YouTube rules, that's why a lot of people get flags early. They get struck down early because they make a lot of stupid mistakes because they're just excited about that rush.
Right.
So that's what happens. It gets real easy to care once there's money involved, once there's views involved. And when you start showing your fraudulency, if that's even a word, I just made it in there, you can see at the end of the fraudulent. When you show that you're fraudulent through some of your actions by holding impossible standards, by milking every video, while getting off your own topics to attack other people for minor transgressions for covering you. You know what I mean? These are all things that show people your true colors. And I think we've been around a long enough time on YouTube that people have seen through it, but not at the small levels. You can still garner really good pockets, 3 to 5 to 8, sometimes even as much as 12 to 14, 15,000 subscribers with hundreds of people in a live stream. It gets harder to get much more than that because nobody does, because nobody cares that much. You're a niche streamer who has to milk everything that one person does because you really don't have that much talent at this. You're feeding off other people's hatred for that person. That's it. If they didn't hate them, there'd be no money in it for you. That's what they're doing.
She can sing. I've heard her sing.
Oh, that's
she
good.
sings
But
pretty good.
does she have a YouTube channel that's built around singing?
No.
Yeah.
No,
Maybe she should try that and see what she can do.
Yeah, apparently she got like a
Don't be afraid.
degree in
Oh, really?
in the arts.
Don't be afraid of failure. Go after music YouTube.
Yeah.
See what you got. Let's see the chops. I like to act like I can sing, but I don't do a YouTube channel about it because I know I can't. Oh.
And then the more I started watching, the more it just made me very sad. And you're a witness to this.
Oh my God, I went through it with you. I had to watch all this.
This is actually embarrassing to admit, but I never, for the first time, watching these people and listening to them for 10 months, it made me depressed.
Yes.
There would be days where I wasn't eating. There'd be days where I would just be in the bed. There'd be and I couldn't.
You had
really,
MTD?
like,
Mean to Dave.
I was like, what is that?
They gave you main cases of MTD.
Like, I can't, and it's so embarrassing to admit because one, I was mad at myself because I was like, can they at least be talking about me so I could justify feeling this way? Like, I was very so embarrassed.
That's quite an image of you.
Well, I was embarrassed because I was like, they're not even talking about me,
Right.
and I'm getting so depressed over this.
Well, you were really involved,
like I just felt very sad, and
invested.
And the thing is, to me, if they would have just said, "Oh, we're doing this because we like making fun of her," whatever, I would have scrolled on to the next thing.
Right? Who cares?
But what gets me is that when you try to make a cause for something and you try to be like, no, this is why we're doing it, own it.
When you can light that sword of virtue, that flaming sword of virtue to slay all of your enemies with.
So this lady owns a school, Nella, right? Yeah. Not a daycare, a school. And I'm just saying,
just making the distinction.
She want everyone to know that. All and right. So I'm listening to a live, right? Yeah. And it just gets even more sad. She goes, how long do you think it's going to take before Alex drops the baby? Oh. And I said, this is supposed to be someone who owns a damn school.
Baby drop bingo.
And I just like, I was like, I can't listen to this. This is not a cause. So it's like, how dare you tell someone to go watch your videos? And it's all of this noise. And it hides your cause.
Right.
And she's one YouTuber. Stop watching her. Just stop watching her. You know? Yeah. And then they always want to bring up this one girl that followed Alex and did exactly what, I think we already talked about this.
Oh, yeah.
Who followed her, wondered why she didn't lose weight in her lower stomach, her fupa. I hate saying that word.
I know. I like to use it though. Fupa.
But that's also a dangerous precedent, like we talked about. Like,
well, right, and we completely, you can hammer her for that. If it's not fraud, it's certainly close to it. The only thing that saves her is she wasn't sponsored. That's pretty much the only thing that saves her.
Right, and
really.
she wasn't.
Yeah.
So,
but it's, if you're willing to listen to Alexandra, like, first off, your mom needs to be involved. Parentship, we already talked about all that. But for this person, for streamers to like hold on to that because it's all they really have, it's kind of sad. Because the reality is, how much can there possibly be to cover of this person?
there isn't.
Exactly.
There really
it's
isn't.
Impossible. It's impossible because at some point it just becomes all meaningless noise, as you like to say. And it does, which is fine. By the way, I have no problems with hate YouTubers. None. Most of them, they don't make any money. You know why? Because most of what they do falls under hate. They lose their channels a lot. Blood sports, that type of stuff. It exists. Go ahead.
I don't really care
don't
either.
hide behind a freaking false virtue. And that doesn't mean that what you're feeling about your own essays are not valid.
Yeah.
It doesn't mean any of that. They're incredibly valid. Just like anybody's problem that they've had go on in their lives are valid to them. But it doesn't mean that gives you a right to make other people miserable, go after other people's channels, and obsess with somebody because you're hurting. There's therapy for that. And Alexandra ain't going away.
Yeah.
She's not. You're.
Right.
I mean, it's not that you should shut up about it, but what do you think you're going to accomplish with Alexandra? You might make her a little sad every so often. She did admit to that recently, right?
Right. She made it in her video recently.
God, can you imagine? They had an ice cream friggin' sundae for that.
I know.
Jesus.
I even listened to Nella's response with that too.
Oh, really? Were they spiking footballs?
They were just saying, like, because she's a liar. That's why she's
Yeah,
a liar.
but I mean, like, some of these people have been covering her for years, right? Like a long time.
No, because they just started.
How long do you think they've been covering?
It has just been a year for a lot of these people.
So wow, that was at the beginning when you did that video, they had just started covering her.
Yeah.
Wow, and they were that invested that fast.
Yeah, because they've been watching her for years.
That's scary.
But what's scary to me is, because this is my last thing with Nella before I move on to the other one. It's so dangerous to me when she advertised her vlog channel, because on her vlog channel she's filming all these kids with their faces, showing their faces, and if she says anyways, and she goes on to say, well, she gave waivers out to the parents or so, but I bet my life if those parents knew that this is what she was doing, cursing, if she was doing, and yes, did she say for but if she actually did give them waivers? Of course, that's a smart thing to do.
Oh yeah.
Why are you advertising your vlog channel with these kids showing their face on a hate channel? On a hate channel,
it doesn't make sense.
No, it's dangerous. So once you don't
Certainly
make any
short-sighted.
sense. Your cause don't make any sense. You don't make any sense.
It's a tough position to put parents in because you get them to sign a waiver unless that waiver specifically has Alexandra Rodriguez in it, and he's like, God, and it almost can. It'd be so stupid. This guy, I'd love to be the person who wrote that up. My God. Right.
And I guarantee you, when they signed those waivers, look, she had a vlog channel that was based off of, guys, this is what we're doing. She was trying to be a school vlogger, a teacher vlogger. So I guarantee you that was the context of those waivers. Had they known that she was going to get up on a channel and then talk with her subscribers of when do you think she's going to drop the baby?
Yeah.
Had they known that you were going to sit and call people Uncle Toms and do all this stuff, like, I'm sure they wouldn't have signed the waivers.
Yeah. And you know what's really stupid about even doing that in the first place and including them into it is that this very conversation. Because at some point, all this will have to be addressed by people much smarter than all of us, because eventually somebody is going to step over the line, whether it's somebody from one of the communities that these people are cultivating, somebody from the outside, or just some sick weirdo who loves content that have kids in it. And there are out there. It eventually the shoe is going to drop. And when it does, the questions are going to be asked. How much information did you give to the parents? All this type of stuff. And it shouldn't be. The reality is they've made it about morals. And this is why you don't. Because once you do it, once again, we go right back to that same rule. It sets a standard that's impossible to uphold, because and it's the oldest one. Don't throw stones in glass houses.
Yeah.
The golden rule, treat people how you want to be treated. All these things are there, and they all come down to common decency and just not putting the cart before the horse, not chasing the views, not letting you and your ego be the reason why you're chasing down a virtue. And like, look, there's, and maybe you're doing these type of things out there. Anybody who has these type of issues, maybe you're volunteering your time locally to try and help people in like blue light system setups in your town, or things to protect the people locally. Act locally, think globally, that type of thing. Maybe you're that type of person. Most people aren't, but maybe you are, and that's great if you are. But that's where you should be honestly throwing your energy at, because that's problems you can solve. Alexandra and her transgressions barely seem worth it at the end of the day. For me, I mean, they're just another YouTuber.
It's not.
Just another YouTuber.
To me, I think I'll give you my full thoughts towards the end here of what this really is about, but
we got Aussie to cover before that, though.
Yeah, I know. So let's go to her, Priscilla P.
Yeah, she's fun. She's fun because she's actually the reason why I'm here. She's the reason why we're really, honestly, because before something happened the other day, I was still going to do this show, but I felt that it became much more necessary that I'm here because it took a different tone. Everything's changed in the last week or so. And you want to tell the story about, do you want to start with that, or do you want to walk backwards?
So Priscilla P, she's this lady who is way over the top when it comes to Alexandra Rodriguez. I think for her own mental health, she just needs to stop watching Alexandra Rodriguez. Listen, she bullies Alex. It's nothing that you haven't seen from like your normal TikTok comments or whatever. But once again, she went for this cause. Oh, hey, I'm going to bully this YouTuber because, you know, they're a liar. They are a PDF file supporter.
Right.
And they lie about their size. And, the other criticism of Alex is that she abandons her animals.
Does she though? Because if she does, that is messed up.
So she did have, so this is a valid criticism. She did, but it's like they take it to the umpteenth level.
Well, yeah.
So, okay, she had a cat, but the cat couldn't technically even live in the apartment, and she had to give the cat up. She claims the cat went to another home, but then she also had some other pets, and she's getting accused of always rehoming her pets. Because I believe she had there was 2 pets I know that she rehomed. And then there was another pet in a conversation that she had with her mom in some other vlog where, if you were obsessed with her, you wouldn't even know. But there was another pet where the mom goes, oh, we got rid of that one, remember? You know what I mean? So
I don't like those people.
So
those type of people make me angry.
No, but these were valid criticisms. And like we talked earlier, her huge issue was taking accountability. She needed a class on that.
Yeah, she does.
Priscilla P has become, in this Alexandra Rodriguez community, has become very toxic enough for Alex stans to then create a Reddit called Priscilla P. Now, my issue with that, and even though thank you Reddit, but I want to say thank you, I want to give you a shout out, thank you.
For information.
But the issue that I have with that is if you're going to do something like that, do it reaction channels. Don't just do it based off of one person, because then you're kind of starting to be just like them, or
especially if
practicing
you're doxing.
Yeah, practicing the same behaviors. Because if she didn't want her name to be out, and even though the excuse is, oh, but she has it here, it's very clear this lady did not want her name to be out, or she would have told us what her name was.
Right.
So you searching for it and then posting it, yes, that's doxing.
Not cool.
Yeah.
You don't do it. There's ways to fight and there's ways you don't fight. And it's the same type. There are very, very few. I talked about it earlier. You don't have, you don't set standards that you can't hold, but there are standards that you can set that you can hold. Not doxing. Don't be involved with it. Very simple.
She didn't want her name out there.
Right.
So I understood why the Reddit got taken down, but I feel like it was my fault because hear me out.
Right.
So I said this Reddit's been up, I don't know how long, but
couple of years we thought, right?
I don't know, but I found it like a few days before it got taken down.
Right.
So I found it and I said, oh my goodness, because I wanted to play, I was
You're
trying to find
a clip.
Yeah, I was trying to find this clip and I thought, and then I discovered she has a Reddit and I said,
these people are crazy. I'm sure they'll have a clip.
No, I did not say that.
Oh, that's what I said.
Oh.
See, look, Reddit, I love you. You're all nuts. They're nuts. They're nuts. And it's okay to say. They know they're nuts. They're great. They're part of the process. It's fantastic. We couldn't do it without Reddit. Love Reddit. Crazy.
Okay, well, thank you so much for helping me out and finding clips, Reddit. I appreciate it.
What did it cost them?
I know. And then I wrote, this is dumb of me. I wrote that I'm doing a video. And I kid you not, within like 24 hours, that Reddit was gone. And
well, why would we think this matters? Why would we think that this matters? It's not like she said anything that would make us think that this would correlate, right?
Right. Yeah.
Unless she did.
You don't get to control what a young mother on YouTube does. Do you want to fucking make a bet? Do you want to make a bet? Make a bet, Venus Main? Hey, baby reindeer? You want to make a bet we don't control? We control a lot of who and what people send Alex. We do control a lot of it. So sit on that and fucking rotate.
That's TOS. She's flaunting. So when you make a statement like that, and then conspicuously when that video is being looked for, found, and then the channel gets taken down, knowing that the lady in the video basically states they have people watching. If there's a Priscilla P Reddit, one of her people is in it.
Yeah.
It's opping 101. This is just another YouTuber. This is just another YouTuber stuff. That's all this is. And I guarantee you're going to have someone in there. And they know, and they knew, they reported, got it taken down. Pretty easy. But the problem is ban evasion.
Yeah.
This is crazy to me because I saw that this became about ban evasion, but Priscilla P is doing that exact same thing.
Right. So Reddit tried to make another Reddit and then they got that taken down.
Right.
And
they can do that perpetually. Once you get a Reddit taken down, if you do another one, they will take it down. You can't evade.
Right.
You know?
And let's listen to, once Priscilla P got her channel taken down, let's listen to her comeback video. Let's watch.
Hello, my lovelies. As you guys know, my channel was taken down, but that's okay. I've got a new one and it's up. They're not getting rid of me that easily, that's for bloody sure. I told you I won't be going anywhere until Alex gets off. So if I have to create 100 more channels, that's what I'll do. Love to you all. Thank you so much for subscribing again. And a lot of people are not sure whether this is my channel or not, but it is. And I'll see you soon. Bye, guys.
So she's just going to keep making channels and channels. She doesn't care because she has a cause.
But that's called, there's a word for it. And not only is it a word for it, it's another term that is a bannable offense through TOS. It's ban evasion. It's the exact same thing.
When you think, especially you living in another country, when you think you have the power to control someone, a young mother on YouTube, I mean, how dare you? This is what I'm talking about. This is how depressing it was. Like, it was this wasn't even happening to me. She wasn't saying these words to me. And all I could think was, wow, this lady's really trying to scare Alex. This lady's really trying to say that I have the power over you, whether I'm in a different country or not. This lady would mentally and you don't want to ever give someone that power. Right. But when someone says that and then she has Jane, don't know who Jane is, but she has Jane on standby. Granted.
Flavor of Alani, they sent the watermelon wave. I think this was a popular flavor for a while, but they brought it back and they re-engineered it.
Jane, is there anything we can do about Alani? Stop sponsoring her? Because she's getting on my nerves with this Alani bullshit.
Re-engineered it.
I will actually message inbox Jane about that right now while I'm watching this.
Flavored it. Switched up the flavor.
That's targeting. That's targeting. That's plain and simple targeting. You can't target sponsors. You can't just because you don't like somebody.
She's getting on my nerves. Do you see how much power she thinks she has?
It's annoying because she's obviously just a product of penal colony inbreeding. And,
Wait, what?
Oh, you don't know Australia was a penal colony?
Okay.
Yeah, do you know that?
No, educate me.
Well, this is 100% true. Australia was once the penal colony of the world. The world sent their prisoners, their worst convicts, the worst of the worst.
Oh.
Yeah.
I thought that was just something in
What, Family Guy?
No. What do you call it? Oliver McQueen.
No.
No.
Arrow. Colors? Oh, Arrow. Yeah. No, it's true. They were penal colony for the world. I mean, remember Napoleon was even housed in Elba.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like it's not uncommon.
Would they send them to the forest? You know, all those people.
Well, and Australia is also the deadliest place on earth. You know how many of the 10
Snakes.
deadly snakes in the world live there? All 10 of them.
Yeah,
they're all there.
That's why I don't go to Australia.
So that's why they're all nuts. She almost can't help it. They're just a crazy people. I'm telling you, the craziest people I've ever known in my life are Australians.
I don't think all Australians
Crazy.
are nuts.
I do.
This lady needs some mental help.
She's more nuts than the average Australian, but the average Australian is like a 5 or 6 on the insane meter, and then it just goes up from there.
The thing about Priscilla, this content creator, commentary creator, she even gets mad for Alex making money off of making videos.
That's it right there. That's what it comes down to.
Yeah, that's what it is. It's the fact that this, mind you, to give some backstory, this Priscilla, she went through the gastric bypass, and so it was believable to me in the beginning that she's genuinely upset with Alex because, they both went through the same surgery, and yet Priscilla is following all of the exact things to stay a certain or maintain her weight, whereas Alex is not. And to me, I think the real no, it doesn't. But I think the real reason why she's upset is just because Alex is still able to, even after failing the gastric bypass, she's still able to make money off of YouTube doing what she loves.
Yep.
She's able to make money the easier way than her, owning her own salon or her having her own clients or whatever the case may be. This creator is still able to fail at goals and still able to come up on camera every day and still be confident, still wear whatever she wants. And she's able to do it with smiles.
Yeah, it's funny because first off, golf clap to the Aussie for doing the gastric and rocketing. Congratulations.
Yeah.
But what type of psychosis does it take to go get this mad at somebody because they didn't?
Right.
You know what I mean? Like, people change their minds. People have perspective shifts, especially when it comes to weight. There's a person that I remember not even all that many years ago, who got very, very famous, in fact, for telling everybody in the world that they're going to continue to be the way they want to be, as fat as they want to be, and body positivity is what needs to be accepted. They're not wrong. Everybody else is wrong. And this is what she said for years, and become very famous in the music industry because of it. Then a little show called South Park comes around and makes fun of this person. And then this person couldn't handle it. Couldn't handle it at all. Tried to own it publicly, failed. Then what did this person do? This person ended up losing all the weight, becoming a huge success in doing so, and now telling the world that this is how you should be doing it. And that person's Lizzo. Are you not smarter than Lizzo? Like, my God. But it also is a great example of how sometimes bullying can work. When you're not trying to be a virtue signaling douche, like South Park never tries to be, they just take you down for being a douche. This is what can be accomplished. Because the person can hear your message. Right. Lizzo heard the message because it wasn't dwarfed by all these other stupid things that didn't matter. Get your point across. Sometimes the bullying can help that way. But that's just my opinion from a long-term edgelord.
For me, my whole point here is the reaction. I just need, which will not happen. I don't think as a result of this, they're going to change. But
no, why would they?
I'm making this statement for the reason why it's important to talk about this topic.
Sure.
because I feel like if you are going to react to someone, if you are going to come out on, you know, your platform, just own it.
Whatever you are.
Yeah, own it. Because I'm so, you know, it's so unsettling when you hear someone say that they're doing the Lord's work when you're not. Because then I have to tell you, no, you're in fact being a bully. And then this is what I love. She lies. Priscilla P also lies to her audience because she'll be like, she'll make fun of Alex's cheeks, her arms, her legs, her knees, her feet, everything, right? And then she tells her audience, but guys, I'm not talking about you.
Right.
I'm only talking about Alex.
Did she really say the Lord's work though? Did they really use that? Oh, that would have been so good.
No, that's just
appropriate.
That's just something I.
Because that'd be so appropriate.
That's something that I always say.
Religion loves.
It just feels like that's what. But I'm like, just let y'all know. And I know this will, especially their audience. It's not going to make a difference either way.
But they think that about you
just to
too.
let y'all know, she thinks that way about you. And Nella, because her and Nella are tight, and so is the country shade tree chick. Just to let y'all know, she thinks about you guys the same way.
Right. It's not like
if you have two chins, if you have a bigger arm, any single characteristic that she made fun of Alex, because the characteristic, she's saying she doesn't like it. It's unattractive and it's gross.
It's not just Alexandra's cankles, it's your cankles too.
Exactly. How convenient that she's not talking about anyone else. She's just talking about Alex. Mind you,
that'd be psychotic.
this is the same lady that said, if I looked, and this is consistently, it's not just in one video she says this, she continuously said it, and this is the channel that unfortunately got taken down, but for good reason. But she goes, if I look like Alex, I would unalive myself. I would unalive myself. And she says it consistently. And I just want to let you know, if you look anything, if you have knees like her, if you have any, just let you know she's talking about you too. So,
but do you?
It's
you know
lying.
but you know what the best part of is?
Yeah.
You know why a lot of these channels stay relatively the same size? You know,
Mm-hmm.
they it's because they do figure this out. It's because the audience members do figure this out. That they do figure out that, wait a minute. Oh. They figure it out and they move on. Sometimes it takes a certain age. Sometimes it takes a certain amount of time on YouTube.
Mm-hmm.
But audience members, for as dumb as they are pretty smart most of the time. And they can figure that stuff out, especially when shots are being taken at them.
Yeah.
Because once you stop being cool or you start showing your true colors or they start fitting that same archetype that you're talking about, they're Splitsville.
Mm-hmm.
There's so many other people on YouTube that aren't going to judge them. They're going to go. So that's why you stay the same size, because it's also easy to find new people in the hate category, because there's always new people who don't really know what's going on with something and will jump on that hate train just because everyone else is there being really loud. Loud people love other loud people. Yeah, everything gets drowned out and no one really knows what you're saying. So get loud. And you see a lot of that. It's sad.
Her recent video where she says that she's answering like vulnerable questions, she mentions how she doesn't use filters in her videos, which she's been highly accused of doing. But the photo I showed you the other day, it wasn't in a video. It was in the Instagram stories.
Yeah, she's a word mincer.
So
she's a word mincer. Well, I didn't know that you meant that. Yeah, she's probably very...
And you're an OG YouTuber, so you know everything.
She knows.
You know everything.
Yeah, she does not seem to be very... honest isn't the right word, but I mean honest in general, but there's... She authentic. There doesn't seem to be a lot of authenticity in a lot of those statements. Like who, me? You know, no. I don't... But you know what I've come away with this, though? I come with one big revelation as we were talking. Is there's one thing that you said. When you mentioned her previous relationship, that she was with, what was the guy's name?
Alan.
And Alan. I know now why Alan is really going after Alex. He's defending his namesake. He's like, no fatties will be with my Allens ever. And this is why he's after her. I believe it. He can't let any muddle in this going on with the Allens.
Alan Roberts is a person that uses obese people and he monetizes off of bullying obese people. I mean, that's pretty much Alan Roberts for you. He takes an obese person, an individual, and decides that he's going to bully them publicly online. And then as a result, he gets someone, it ends up getting someone to buy his stuff, to buy his package. That's what Alan Roberts is. So.
Oh, I love it. You're a fat load. You're a big, disgusting piece of crap.
He even offered to with a non-disclosure agreement to train Alex. And
do you want to be a not disgusting piece of crap? Well, buy my stuff and you won't be a disgusting piece of crap anymore. Just another YouTuber. They're all the same, man. It's as George Carlin said, and here's my one swear of the night, it's all bullshit and it's bad for you. That's my final thought on it.
And my final thought on this is the reason why it was so important to have this discussion is because I couldn't help but hear the lies that these reaction channels were telling their audience, lying to their audience. And whether their audience believes it or not, these are lies because this goes beyond a cause. That's why they got mad that I reacted to begin with, because the things that I clipped off of Nella's video was, oh, she was making fun of her face, making fun of, oh, what pregnancy glow. Tell me, what does that have to do with your damn cause? Right. So there's a lot of those, wordings all over the channel, if you guys watch, of many of it, a lot of noise, nothing having to do for the reason that they were there to begin with, why they started their channels. All of them coincidentally started to say, even on the Reddit, the Alexandra Stark page Reddit, they all started to say, hey, we don't condone going after sponsors like Jane. Like, we don't condone that. We don't condone... even Nella said in her recent live streams and tried to correct some things that she's never.
Of course, now they got to walk it back.
Yeah, they're like, we don't, because they'll say, these people will say in the beginning of every video, we do leave a disclaimer that do not go to her page or whatever. No, but this is the first time since the channels got taken down where they said, no, don't ever go to Alex's house, don't ever do any of this. While Priscilla P freely mention, oh yeah, I have my subscribers, they send me photos of Alex's house all the time, or they've said that they've seen what her house like, and she just felt comfortable sharing that to the public.
It's getting even scarier now.
Yeah,
I think a big reason why people are starting to walk back these things, because we've seen it in the celebrity world with athletes lately, a lot of house breaking into. But last night, did you hear about this one? I don't, not to derail us at all, but Amaranth. Did you hear about this? She literally got broken into last night. She's in the hospital. She got a home invasion. The gun in her, woke up with a gun in her face. They wanted her crypto. They had a phone in her hand, making her like put in her crypto information.
Yeah.
She pulled a gun and shot one of them, and they like pistol whipped her and all kinds of stuff. Apparently, it was horrible. So like, this stuff is scary. The comment stuff that they do, going after people who write comments on her channel and stuff like that. Even if they're saying, don't go after, you're
targeting.
You absolutely are. You're asking for more of it because you're using it as a segment. Your people are going to want to be a part of it. That's their attaboy. That's their like button. That you're putting that out there for them. So you just can't have it both ways. You're either going to play by the rules that you're setting, or you're just a hypocrite and you're really just setting yourself up for failure. But how about the overall health of YouTube? We have people that are getting taken down all the time for stupid things, and this is cultivating that same type of environment, that same type of behavior. Channels getting taken down and then ban evading. The stuff that's happening with Reddit, if you really are having people scope out and be a part of these Reddits, it's sick. It's kind of crazy, and it's this type of operative behavior that has really caused YouTube to...
When the lady created another YouTube channel.
Right.
The lady did, but yet you still want to take down. It's just, it doesn't make any, you guys don't make any sense. The cause, you guys have lost the plot a very long time ago. It's not there anymore.
In summation, I think that we pretty much said it all at this point.
Yeah, I don't really have much to say after this. I feel like there's just these are one of those things where there's just so much videos, there's so much content. If you just watch any of it, you're gonna be like, whoa, what is this? What am I watching?
Yeah.
So
I think the last thing I really can even think with it is people have gotta take this different ways. You know, there's taking this stuff too seriously is dangerous. YouTube is addictive, and groups are addictive, and feelings and virtue, all of it's addicting. Likes, comments, getting people to notice, it's all addicting. And you take this stuff too seriously, and it's just bad for you. And that's why I gotta take it the way that I take it. If I didn't, I feel like I feel this ulcer growing inside of me. So it's, man, have a little fun with this stuff. Lighten the hell up, guys.
And I think that's why I got so embarrassed of feeling so down about listening to all of this.
Right, because I was like,
yeah, it shouldn't. And I'm like, it really should. I'm like, are these people serious? So lighten up. She's just a YouTuber. That's it. And the fact that I heard all of this from just one lifestyle YouTuber who really doesn't do much other than shop and, you know, stays at home with her baby, works, vlogs, you know.
Just a tubby YouTuber doing tubby YouTuber things. It's okay.
Yeah. Any last comments? You want to end it?
Thank you for
What did you just say? What did you just say? What did you just say?
I was like, she agreed with that? She's I said that she's a tubby YouTuber doing tubby YouTuber things. And you're like, yes, she is. I needed that after a year of hearing about this story. I needed that last little joke in there. That felt good.
Oh, gosh.
This has been a year of my life that I've had to hear this.
10 months.
It feels closer to 2-3 years.
10 months. Only 10
Oh
months.
my God. Yeah, this is not my area of YouTube that I like to dwell in, mostly because it does get taken way too seriously.
This actually isn't either. This isn't either.
No, not really. But I mean,
I could care less about these people.
no, it's the actions.
Yeah, it was more the behavior, and I'm listening to them spewing lies as they're calling someone out for spewing
Insanity
lies.
is insanity at the end of the day. So that's it from me.
All right, guys. Well, we tuned Dave out. Thank you guys for watching. I'm Blossom, and he's staring at me, but I'm Blossom, and hopefully I will see you very soon on the next video because it's been a minute, and I'm going to try to be a consistent queen this year. We will see, but thank you guys for watching. Let me know what you think, and I will see you soon on the next video. Bye, guys.